here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Climë. Sorry, the music just picked up. I was like, ooh. Good morning. How are we?
I'm alive.
I'm good.
I ran upstairs to go see if I could make myself a coffee. Like that's when I heard you guys say, "Hey guys, sorry, I'm gonna run upstairs." And so I ran upstairs to see if I could make myself a coffee. But the issue was that I have no ground beans, and my bean grinder is really loud. And even though Brittany's probably waking up like right now to go for like a jog, walk, run thing that she does every morning or almost every morning, Rory's still sleeping, so I don't want to like wake them up. So since, I'm American, I couldn't bring myself to making a tea. So instead, I was just playing with a 30-pound dumbbell instead. I was like, this will wake me up. I'm just going to play with a 30-pound dumbbell for like 8 minutes. This will wake me up. This will get the blood a pumping. So,
Can you just make tea?
No. Coffee is the drink for me. You know what I mean? So, but listen, I have beans. Okay, I have beans. I just need to grind them.
I am actively throwing the shade with my kettle right here.
I wouldn't call that a kettle.
It is 100% a kettle.
A kettle sits on top of a stove and whistles.
It's called an electric kettle, Scott.
I'd call it a percolator.
It's not the same thing at all.
Actually,
Electric kettles are so unbelievably common. Like they have a normal.
I know. Outside of the U.S., they're insanely common. Even in the U.S., they've become common because of pour-over coffee. So,
I don't know why you'd ever use like a stove kettle. I think it would take longer to heat the water too.
Because I'm pretty sure the way a percolator works is it boils and then it also adds the ingredient in it as it goes, kind of like a French press.
I think it works by the condensation going to like to the top of the machine.
Yep.
And then it drips down through and yeah.
It's like a French press. I mean, I'm saying French press, not a French press. So like a espresso maker. French press is different.
Yeah, there's a really cool video on it that I could share if you want.
Hey, listen, green hand grinders around here do a very different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Gotta separate out them seeds, which is legal, so that's okay. But my grinder is it's a mechanical one, so it's like, it's loud. In the past, what I've done before is, so there's like a little coffee nook I've posted pictures about on Discord before. I have to move that thing out, unplug it, bring it into the back porch. You know what I mean? Like bring it more or less like 2 rooms over and like shut a door, and then go over there, go like on the far side of the back porch, and then plug it in and do it all in there so that the noise doesn't get all the way to Rory's room. And even then, it's not like I live in a huge house. The noise could easily travel over to Rory's room, so that it's still a gamble. Yeah, but the good news is her bedroom door is shut, and we usually have a fan on in her room. So that if like watching a movie when we go to bed at night, whatever it is, she doesn't hear it. Hopefully, So, anyways, you were saying something, so?
Yeah, there's a cool video posted in the Discord nerd stuff chat. It's about coffee percolators and how they work. I watch weird videos.
No.
Also, I know coffee grinders are really loud. My mom grinds her coffee beans, and whenever she does it, I know she's doing it because I can hear it in my room. And to give an idea, I'm up in like the top, like the front left corner of the house. She's grinding them like on the opposite side of the house, downstairs.
Yep. And that's unfortunately how it goes. I just heard Brittany walking around. You getting a coffee today? Question mark. All right. So, they're insanely loud, especially like the more expensive ones. So like my parents used to have a I called it the rocket ship. It was an espresso maker, but also had a coffee grounder built in. And if you use like the right setting, it would take the coffee grinds and it would actually put it into, and it would like pack it in, and it would like do the espresso all at once. That thing cost them a few grand, and it eventually broke down on them and they had to throw it away. And I was like, I'll never spend that kind of money on a coffee maker. It was something they got like, I don't know, probably when I was like 23 5, like well after I had moved out. You know what I mean? Like one of those things I never got to take advantage of it. Anyways, so that thing was so loud. That thing was so loud. It was so loud. It was insane how loud it was. But mine is nowhere near there. Anyways, anything else you want to go over, or are we going to jump right into the leveled up characters?
I think we could.
Yeah.
Want to roll
We got
HP?
HP rolls coming up.
Yeah,
Well, before we roll HP, I just want to see if your characters are designed halfway decent.
I mean,
Do you?
Oh, also, big question. Maybe we should make this a vote in chat. Not right now. We don't want to touch on Norway. Should Neil also have leveled up during the time that he was gone? I mean, he didn't play.
Yeah.
should, because you don't do XP, so that's your own fault.
Yeah, but but he wasn't a part of the development of the story. You know,
He definitely should level up.
I mean, I don't know
He
about
should level
that.
up.
I'm not so sure.
Scott, you couldn't remember if someone wasn't like leveled up and for how many sessions. You just forget.
Yeah. You,
know what I
you
was talking
didn't
about.
even remember. You thought we leveled up before the last session.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand these words. This sounds like lies. Viggo, did you increase the number of spells per day you're supposed to have?
Yep.
You only have one second level spell.
Oh no, sure. I think it's 2.
Oh, okay, you
What's my?
you just have one written in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get one from in and then one from just
Yeah.
level.
So you guys went to level 4, so you got your ASI. What did you do for your ASI, Viggo?
My
Do you
what?
not know what ASI stands for?
Ability score.
Increase.
Int.
Oh! Ooh! Ooh!
Your
Can
bigger
you
brain.
just look at the?
He went
can
to a
you look at
20.
the knowledge skills, right? And then look at the mist. Look at that. Look at that.
Is it what is it? Equal your intelligence score?
Yeah.
So how do you get to double dip intelligence score and knowledge skills? What ability do you
that
have?
would be perfect recall.
Where's that from?
Have a look. The discovery, I think. Or no, not a discovery. My whatever the archetype is.
I'm looking it up right now, because that's like insane.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Whenever a mind chemist has honed his making a knowledge skill check, he may add his intelligence bonus on the check a second time. Thus, a 5 ranks in history and a +2 intelligence bonus is a total of a. So, it's so funny. Mind chemist. I believe you, for the record. Let's not pretend like I don't. Yep, I was like, this written so
It's written
poorly.
there.
No, I believe you. Again, it's written so poorly. I was like, wait, did I allow you a third-party archetype? But no, it's just a poorly written Paizo one. It's actually from the Paizo's book called Ultimate Magic. So
Oh, that's a good book too.
yeah,
Someone just didn't edit well.
yeah. It's just poorly written. It's just phrased in like a kind of way. All right. Anyways, I love your meticulous because like as much as you could sit there and be like, "Oh, Jake, you suck. You broken." He has like 8 skills with a -2 built into them.
Oh yeah.
On top of having like a -1 charisma. So he has a bunch of skills like -3s, and he said to roll those a bunch. So, he actually
He does really well, but otherwise.
Yeah, he suffers.
It
his,
was
his
it was a
penalties.
harsh drawback. Let's look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm sure mine will be a harsh drawback. I
sense,
just
though.
happen to haven't run into it yet.
Just don't remind Scott. Hopefully he'll forget. You know.
What was that?
Nothing.
He's forgotten. Alright?
I didn't hear what
Sorry
you
about
said. You kind of like mumbled. So I didn't hear what you said.
I think it was intentional that he's mumbling.
And your new discovery is the
have-
enhanced enhanced
My
one.
drawback
Yeah,
is a bad
it is.
one. We just haven't run into it yet, is what I said, Scott.
Dude, that's crazy. What's your drawback?
My drawback is the negative.
Oh, shadow touched?
What? No,
You
no,
confused
it's a spell type vulnerability, but I don't reveal what for chat. Yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I know, yeah.
That's interesting.
So enhanced potion. This is super badass because
Right.
right now as you as you make your own like extracts, they're really powerful for just you and not anybody else. And then even more selfish, if you will, your next discovery was one that makes it so even when you drink store-bought potions, it's like when you buy ramen noodles and then you add vegetables and you're like, bam, real food. You know what I mean?
Look, hey, I feel called out.
Do you add vegetables?
Yes, I add eggs.
Yeah, absolutely. When you make ramen noodles, you should absolutely add vegetables to it. So beautiful.
Yeah, and an egg too. It makes it like not
So
the worst
good.
thing. in the
We're
world.
adding the egg. Yeah, the night and day without the egg.
It's truth.
Okay. And then after, so done looking at Viggo. Looking at Gallon. There's no
You
offense.
should check my additional
care about
section. It's
Tethys.
gotten a little more complicated.
Tethys is just like
Oh wow.
a fighter.
Well, that
It's
is
how I'm
a
keeping track of all this bullshit.
that is a little bit more complicated. You just gotta kind of flick as you go.
It helps though. It really does help. Keep track of what I have, how many points I have, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you don't accidentally stack them.
Yep.
That's funny. I like it. I like that was your approach. It completely reformatted the character sheet because of all those additional bonuses inside there. Let's see if I can show this to chat. Give me 1 second. You other guys can just close this.
That's not even like all of the. Those are just the most common augments I've used so far. Every time I use a new one, I add it to it.
Under the armor section, he added this little area here. So instead of just one type of armor, he had how many power points he's investing, 2, 1, 0, whatever it is, the kind of armor he could wear, all the different upgrades. So it's his way of kind of keeping track of it.
Even the energy type and
Yeah.
which skin I have, which astral armor I have active as well.
It's pretty smart. I like it.
That's good.
I like it.
It's helped already.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. You're playing Pathfinder, not 5e. Like, you have actual options. So, there was more options on one aspect of your character in a Pathfinder game than you would have on a 20th level fighter. Done. Like,
I mean,
entirely, all things included. Even if you were a
You're not-
battle master.
You're not wrong. Which is like the sad part.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, oh, you clicked at me. 1 second, clicking back.
my bad.
No, you're good, man. So additional was that. Let's see. Gear, I'm not worried about. Let's see. Feats, you obviously didn't get a new one. So any new abilities you got added to you?
Energy blast and
yep, I see that.
empowered energy blast, which is a
Dude, that's a
augment that I've
touch. It's a ranged touch.
taken. It's range touch.
sexy.
Read empowered because it's insanely strong.
I absolutely will.
Is
So
it like the meta magic empowered?
No, so empowered is I can put power points, which I have 8 of a day, into it up to my level, so I can put 4 into it to add 4d6.
energy blast is a simple 1d6 damage. It's not like 1d6 per
Yes.
X number of levels.
No,
So
it's
so
1d6.
empower is what you do to enhance that above the
Yes.
1d6. But still, in a big old boom moment, that could be amazing because the Aegis can spend power points to increase the damage of the energy blast attack once per round before making an attack roll. You can spend up to your class level, which for you right now is 4, and power points is a free action to gain 1d6 for every one. So right now you can do that as a 5d6 kaboomy, which is as a touch attack.
As a touch attack.
Which is pretty badass. And did you increase the number of
With
base
my
power points you
+9.
get?
Yes, I did. I have now 8 power points a day.
Because where do you track that?
I
see it right there.
Feats and traits. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's tracked correctly, because it's very important. Let's do Pathfinder.
I just went to the Aegis thing, saw the difference between the last level and this level, and just added that difference.
So that's not entirely true. So you added 2 for that. That's actually not 100% true. So if you're in the Aegis, do you have the Aegis page open on your... I'm going to walk you through this because it's important.
Yes, I do.
Yep. So now that you're at the very top of the Aegis page, there's an alternative rule system, and then there's psionics. I believe what you want to click is psionics. Nope.
In Aegis it says power points per day 3 at 3rd, and then 5 at 4th.
No. So press psionic classes at the very top of the page. Okay.
Psionic classes, yep.
Now scroll down, and you'll see a table there. And this table, are you based off wisdom or what?
And I'd imagine, I know, intelligence, everything to do with class is
Intelligence?
based off
Okay,
intelligence,
so
yeah.
if you actually look at this chart down here, this is your bonus based off of your level and your intelligence. So since your intelligence is a 14, your level is now 3. Your bonus power points, it went from a 2 to a 3. So you actually have an additional power point on top of what you said. So realistically,
Oh, really?
yeah. So you
Oh.
have base for your class is what, 5 plus another 3 more for your heightened intelligence equals 8, which is what you had. But then you probably have another feature that gives you an additional number of points beyond that.
I don't believe so. That sounds. I don't think I have another feature that gives me more power points.
Because beforehand it would have been 3 plus 2 equals 5. But now it's 5 plus 3 equals 8.
I mean, my intelligence modifier didn't change there, so by just changing.
But if you look at
base
that
level
chart,
one-
if you look at that chart that we were just looking at, it's actually
it does
yep.
go up.
So oh wait, sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm saying you're level 3, you're level 4. 5 plus 4 equals 9.
9. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. My apologies. So beforehand it would have been 3 plus 3 equals 6. Now it's 5 plus 4 equals 9.
Nice.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what it was before. Yeah. So.
Yep. So just like how Jake has additional extracts, or a wizard gets additional potions based off of their intelligence modifier, you have this. So this actually incentivizes you increasing your intelligence score, because you can see that bonus number, when your intelligence goes from a 14 to a 16, right now you'd have 2 more power points, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. All right, cool. So you actually have 9, and is that currently the only thing you can enhance with your power points?
I believe it is the only thing. No, I can use power points.
Hi, Anno. How you doing, man?
Wait. Was it Psionic Shot? Did Psionic Shot use power points? No, I don't think it did. No, I think that's it. I think we thought power points were used to regain focus, but they're not.
Power points are what?
I think we thought that power points were used to regain focus in combat, but I don't.
No.
think
I never
don't
thought
know
that.
anything about that.
I know. So you just have no other class
I
features
thought
currently.
that then.
Gotcha. You just have no
I
other
think
class
that's the
features
only
that
one
use it right
uses
now.
it at the moment.
Gotcha. And why did I feel like you had something with gloves?
Yes, so my I have my.
But those don't
crystal
require
bracelet.
power points. Okay, yeah.
Those,
that's
they're just per day.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I think that covers everything. Did you level up Tethys? Just to not disrespect you or the character?
No,
Yeah, I
the deep
did.
crystal
Yeah, I'll check it out.
braces do use power points. That's what it was. Wait, you tabbed away from it.
I don't think it uses power points. I think it uses
For
per
2
day.
power points. As a
Oh,
free
because it's
action,
deep
does not
crystal. Because it's deep
Yes.
crystal.
Does not provoke
Ooh.
attack of opportunity. You may channel psionic power points into your throwing weapon.
Yep.
For 2 power points, I can make them deal 2d6. So it's the same. It's 1d6 per power point. So it works out the same. So that's really good.
And you could do that
and
at
it
the
will
same
stay
time as you.
charged until I hit.
And you can do it at the same time as you expend your sonic focus with your sonic shot,
Yes.
and that allows for what 2d6 from sonic shot, right? Plus,
2 from deep crystal.
yep, which is 4d6 plus whatever your base damage is, which is probably like a d6 or something.
D8.
D8. Okay, yeah, pretty badass.
And next level, it's 2d8.
Ooh. All right.
Ooh, that's nice.
I
I
think-
got weapon focus. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, because you're a warrior, right?
I'm a fighter, yeah.
Oh, what did you increase for your stat there?
Wisdom.
I was actually asking back to
Oh,
Gallon for a
dex.
second. Sorry.
So
Dexterity?
now I get 20 dex when I have my suit on.
Ooh, that rounds you off to the next tier, which increases your AC a little bit better. Hopefully, it'll keep you alive a little bit more.
We can hope. The next level, I can actually increase that another 2, so I could get 22 dex.
That'd be nice. 22 dex, that'd be nice. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And now, Sel, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I went
No,
back to
you're
Gallon
good.
to round him off. So you
You're
increased
good.
your wisdom score?
Yeah.
So you got all the way up to a 14?
Yep.
Nice. And you got, you said weapon
Weapon
focus,
focus,
cutlass. So it's just a +1 chance to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but weapon spec is such a cool feat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, your archetype didn't give you anything this level?
No, because it gives me something at level 2 and it changes armor, whatever it is, the armor training,
Mhm.
to armored pirate, which helps me when I like fall in water.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. I see that there. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, it gives me cleave, and I don't take the penalty for doing cleave, and I didn't realize that, so like I just reread it. So
Wait, what about cleave?
I don't actually take the -2 penalty to armor class. I think is what. I was reading.
Okay. Because cleave usually gives you the -2 AC, but you're saying that the
Archetype-
armored pirate doesn't give that to you.
Or the
Use
archetype
the armor
just
strict penalty
says
of
it
any light
in the thing.
armor. I mean, it
just
doesn't. It doesn't
it
say it
says
on
it-
this.
it says it in the Corsair archetype
I'd have to check it
Where-
out, but it doesn't
yeah,
matter
fine.
for this point. So, anyways,
that
cool.
we're fighting. So
Cool. I think we're good to go.
yeah.
I have one quick question because this is a damage type that I've never encountered. I have to choose a energy type. Now, cold, electricity, fire, I get those.
Yep.
Sonic. Is there anything interesting I should know about how Sonic?
So you know how
damage works?
booming blade is a thing?
Yeah.
Y-
So it's like that sort of thing. It's thunder damage essentially.
yeah, but because it's noise.
It's not called thunder.
Yes. So I should register that will make noise. So I'm going to change that off Sonic now.
Funny enough, if
that
you
was
called it sonic damage and you wanted to say it was subsonic or hypersonic, I would actually accept that argument. But if you say it's thunder damage, that doesn't make any sense to me. That makes zero sense.
Do we have
Because
to call
thunder
Plexon?
is not hypersonic or subsonic. But
I think
that's fine.
Thunder in 5e because generally speaking, the normal person doesn't know what the fuck Sonic is. In these settings.
Excuse me.
I
They
don't-
curl up into a ball. They go.
In
And then-
these
and
settings,
then-
they're gonna
and then
go
all the boys
big
go
loud
drip,
equals-
drip.
Big loud sound equals thunder. So I
No.
can understand why they aimed at thunder
No.
damage, but I also get what you're saying.
They just use the buzzword because it's more popular. That's all it is. Because they're trying to take the nerd level of D&D and bring it down a few notches. That's all. So they just use that, so that's a more easy buzzword. But either way, so yeah, sonic damage.
Electricity, well, then.
Yeah, weapon focus is met on its own, but it is a baseline. It is a baseline for so many builds. So I'm sorry, Tesh. The Sonic, yep. So, but you have 5 and you have energy, even though it's technically more than 5. You have 5 options. So it's going to be fire. Fire, cold, Sonic, acid, and don't tell me,
Oh.
electricity.
Interesting. In the active energy type little tidbit, it's not the actual like thing. Because I remember we had to go through this before. It's only listed cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. I'm assuming that's just suggesting types. So where would I be able to find the all active energy type list?
Well, so it's just 5 of them. But you said it has which one's listed there?
So it has cold, electricity, fire, or sonic listed, just like any
So you're
other
just missing
silent
acid.
character.
But that's actually kind of normal. I don't think acid's a super common thing to be produced by a
Oh,
kineticist.
then that works.
Like, yeah, think about pyro, cryo, kineticist, all those. So, fun fact, Tesh. This is my old dice bag. I think I'm actually missing a die that Rory lost to me. This is the same die bag I've used for years. But part of like my die bag build is I intentionally have specific dice for specific things. And so I actually have, I don't know how well you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it pretty well. So I actually have designed in my die
I
bag.
like that one of them is green screened out.
Oh, it is? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's
I
funny.
didn't even realize.
Yeah. So you have my cold, electricity, acid, sonic, fire, and then over here you have positive and negative energy. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I've always had it set up that way so that you could I would know like what I was doing, because usually only I have 1d6 damage. So like as a DM where you have to sometimes factor out what it is. And then for my base damage, I always use my bone dice. You know what I mean? But
Those are cool dice, actually. Those are really nice.
They are very nice.
yeah. But so anyways, that's it's just funny doing it in a digital format, because if you were a PC at my table, I'd bring you to a nerd store and have you start picking out the different colored dice. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, you want this many d6 of this color, this many d6 of this color, just to make it easy at the table. You know what I mean? But anyways. All right, we
I
good?
totally don't have like a bunch of dice in a bag. Right
You-
here.
So
You don't?
I just want to add this note because of what was
Oh, you
being
do?
talked about in chat with thunder damage. In an off-stream game, I accidentally deafened myself and 2 other members of the party by getting a natty 1 with a Thunder Fist Gauntlet in a
That's pretty funny.
cave. In a tiny cave enclosed space. I tried Booming Blade with a Thunder Fist Gauntlet.
Oh, so you like
And
doubled it up too?
I
Yeah.
deafened myself and
God.
another character.
My favorite part about that is that ability, that thunder, that booming blade wouldn't have factored into the noise, because it definitely doesn't make any noise.
No, you say that, Scott. Literally every game I've played in 5e has dealt thunder damage as making sound.
Well, I mean,
Literally every game.
again, this isn't my argument. This is Plex and Aaron.
It's a fantastically funny argument.
Yeah. It's just me being mean to Plex and Aaron for when they pop in. But anyways, we ready to we're missing Jake. I wonder if he fixed his. He hasn't really said any words yet. I wonder if he fixed his microphone.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Does it?
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't listening. I did mostly talking.
He was apparently he was enlisting help from Joey for Commanders and Warmonger.
So he was on a call with Joey, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And probably fixed his microphone with Joey.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the Discord message?
Which one?
He just sent one.
Oh.
He's just putting his daughter to bed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. I see that apparently Neil was in there too. Hi, Neil. We miss Neil. We'll have him back soon.
Next
Yeah.
level, I can increase my armor as well. There's the amount of stuff that's locked off by 5th level. I'm just like, oh, this looks interesting. 5th level. This looks interesting. 5th level.
Yeah, level 5 is a pretty big level. So I think one of the most exciting things that Pathfinder did, as somebody that came from even earlier editions, one of the big exciting things that Pathfinder did to make the game even that much more exciting, but more complicated, was they said every odd level you get a feat.
I completely agree. Like, legitimately, that's the biggest plus for me. As I will say, the feats in, like, looking at the feats is the most intimidating thing for coming into Pathfinder. It is also the best thing about Pathfinder, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It just adds so much more variety.
I mean, it used to be every 3 levels. So you get a first level, third level, every 3 levels thereafter. But switching to every odd level instead, to me, I don't know. I love it.
I was saying
so much
This
customization.
character gets a massive power jump every level to like level 9, and even then, it's only like a slightly less big of a power jump.
And then at level 9, you just start going paladin, so you can get all those 5. Paladin to level 5 is amazing.
If you're a charisma boy, getting like scaled or fist monk first level to get charisma to AC, it's pretty intense too.
Wait.
Charisma to AC.
I'm not
Holy
familiar
shit.
with this particular one you're referring to. Charisma to AC is easy to get with the first level spell too. What were you saying?
Yeah, well, it's a super common like build thing because I look at a lot of Pathfinder stuff. It's like scaled fist or something.
Oh.
And that any charisma build should just like take 1 level dip into it.
There's a sorry, we're just waiting for Jake to return. There's a PRC for a barbarian. It's like a barbarian. It's a monk PRC, but it gives barbarian like features. That also gives you constitution to AC, and unlike 5e where they're like it converts this attribute into this attribute. That's not how this works. If you keep adding more to AC, unless it says otherwise, you keep adding more to AC. So there's builds where you can add like your dexterity, your constitution, your wisdom, and your charisma to AC on top of all the other factors. Now, granted, you usually don't have super high modifiers in all of those. It's stats, but you're saying...
Yeah, I was going to say, I've definitely seen YouTube thumbnails with like 73 AC at level 3. And stuff like that.
Well, have you ever heard of oh shit! Somebody else help me out here. Have you ever heard of? I can't think of the name of it. The kobold build. What is it? The level does it require you to be a level 3 sorcerer kobold build?
I probably not have it. I don't think so.
I feel like his name is like Kipo or something. I don't know. But the idea is like I think it's a level 3 sorcerer kobold, and you have to use some 3.0, 3.5 materials. I think you can skip out Pathfinder materials, but the short version is more or less at level, I think it's level 3. Maybe it's Meepo is his name. Anyways, because Meepo was the name of a kobold from a old module. Anyways, so you more or less have a very specific build at like first level, and then by the time you're third level, you become a god. And you're like, what do you mean you become a god? You're like, no, like look at this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, this interpretation of this rule. The rules don't say it's not. This spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, and then all of a sudden you literally have your god, and then as a god you can actually make a number of attacks per as a free action equal to your power level, and you're able to like go in at like power level 12, so like making 12 attacks per second. Sorry, as a free action, but then because of the way the rules work, you can make an infinite number of free actions, or as your god, you can do things within your parameter, and the number of free actions equal to your power level, as long as it's within your portfolio. So you're doing like 12 times 12, so it's what's 144 attacks as a free action, and then you still have your swift move and standard action.
That's some anime shit.
Pun Pun, Pun Pun. That's his name, Pun Pun. I'm confusing him with Meepo, which was a different
What
name.
the fuck?
Yeah, Pun Pun. So if you ever want to break your brain on how broken earlier editions are, read about Pun Pun. So
Pun the kobolds.
yeah, welcome to being an NPC. Hope you had fun. Yep, exactly. So this is maybe like a 15-minute read, and if you really want to get into the rules on it, it's more like a 2-hour read because you're going to want to like look up each rule. Not a thing to do right now, obviously. So
Yeah.
but it's a really good one. I'm sure other people have done videos explaining it as well. So I won't lie, as I sit there late at night watching YouTube on my phone, I realize I should make videos on YouTube about D&D stuff. It makes YouTube work. It's just like people just sit there and just give advice about things, and they're like these super quick videos, and I'm like, I should totally do that and take advantage of like the YouTube algorithm, but like never do that
GM
stuff.
tips.
Yeah, the GM tips. but make them stupid. Like, all right, GM tip number 1, kill him. That's the video. Like really stupid stuff that people are like, why did I watch that? But then it loops and you get more ad revenue for it.
You just put it on YouTube Shorts, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You
then it just
know what's
loops.
the worst? Is when you watch those videos and it's like, you know what they are. Like, they'll be like, I watched one the other day and it was dumb as. It was, watch what happens when you put paint on this light bulb. And you know, they're just like taking like, I don't know, 10 minutes to do something. But for some reason you keep watching and you're like, nothing's going to happen at the end of this video. And then you watch the 10 minutes and you're like, I knew that from the start. Why did I sit here for 10 minutes watching this video that I knew wasn't going to do anything? I could have skipped to the end, but I didn't. I sat here and I watched 10 minutes. Whilst I was watching, I was criticizing myself for watching it, but I did it anyway.
Sounds like
They're
somebody has a
the
low
worst
wisdom
videos.
score. Sounds like somebody has a low wisdom score, baby.
Gets me every time.
Yeah. No, my favorite is I was just watching a video yesterday, the day before, and it said like right at the bottom, because I'm watching it like, you know, portrait mode, and it said, fun fact, you're not watching this in full screen. And I was like, oh. you got me. And then it ended up being a really cool video because it was a gymnastics video, so it ended up being like a really cool thing. So I was glad I had turned it to see like the full. But anyway, so let's get into the game now that everybody's here.
Green, they're the best ones there. You can't, or you won't believe this.
I hate to say it.
I mean, I only
you
click
gotta
on
roll
those if they're people that I watch anyways. You know what I mean? Like Real Engineering. They have like
get you,
clickbaity
though.
things, but I watch Real Engineering anyways. What were you saying, Tush?
I said I hate to say it, but we got to roll health.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, let's get back into the game. So hold on. Before we roll health, let's see. Before we roll health, who do we want to roll first?
Do you want me to take the luck gods?
Who do we want to roll first?
I mean,
We're all
All
scared.
right, how about this? You guys roll. I'll roll a D100 in roll 20, and the person with the middle roll gets to go first.
That's a good
That's
idea.
right. We show love to the middle child around here.
That means I still don't get love.
No, never.
Because I'm like the...
Hey, it's me.
Oh, and aren't you actually 32?
Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
look at that. Love for the 30s.
Jake
Aw.
rolled my age.
You're reminiscing about what it's like to be 32.
Let me. I mean, I'm not. I'm not messing with.
I am 30. Huh.
My buffs aren't messing with con
Yeah,
but just in
sure.
case I'll remove all my buffs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stares down the barrel at 36.
Here we go.
There we go.
I believe in you. Never mind.
This is my life. This is my life.
Right here. Nice little tear.
Oh, it's in a perfect spot too.
I hate.
I think you meant to
everything.
say as well. Unless you try to flame him. What are you doing?
Because like it's you. Do you? What is it? That is one is the reroll because that's what.
No, chat
always-
gives you a reroll.
Oh, chat gives the reroll. Okay.
Yeah.
Aided the martyr, right?
Yeah. If they want to do it. All right. So who's up next? Sel and Jake, you guys roll. The higher roll gets to go. This is a D100.
I have a D10 and I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 6.
Well, Jake, you know. Yep. You all right. There you go.
Wait, did you roll?
On a D100,
I just saw that
I rolled a
you
6.
rolled a 6 on a D100.
You did?
I thought that was you rolling for health, and I was like, oh, 6 isn't that bad.
I did just roll a 6 on health though.
That's pretty funny. All right. Cool.
I hate everything.
So you that's it for you, gentlemen. Tesh, you got to reroll.
Thank you.
Roll one.
Go,
Roll one.
I'm keeping
Ooh,
that.
it's a good roll. Remember, you can make him re-roll the high numbers too.
You can't do that.
You can. You absolutely can.
It's the opposite of aid.
I mean, it's penance.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you.
It's penance.
I refuse to do it once because people were giving us rerolls on Warmonger. I'm like, no, because they thought we were rolling bad.
Yeah,
Against
VSword.
their wishes.
VSword. I don't have that issue with my cell phone. That might be an Android issue. Because I didn't have that issue with my iPhone when I clicked on it on the stream. So,
Honestly, maybe like try not using the Twitch app. It might help.
no, you
Twitch
can't.
app- the
You
Twitch app
can't
is
not
so
use the
terrible.
Twitch app though. Because if you try to go to like the
Yeah.
Twitch website with
They're
in
both
usually
terrible.
send for Discord, so desktop mode, it's a pain in the ass. Like it
It's
doesn't even
so
really work
bad.
right. Yeah, you guys both have an Android. Yeah, it's probably an Android problem. So that's too bad. That's too bad.
More like a Twitch problem. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a Twitch problem. Let's be honest.
Well, how they interact with one another, right? So, because let's be honest, if you're going to write code for an operating system, iOS is the standard, right? Because if you look at, say, like 45% of the market has iPhones and the other 55% has a million other options, you're going to cater to the majority. So, because that's how you make your
You
money.
say
No, the vast majority, the majority of the cell phone market is run by Android OS.
But the problem is Android OS has so many different OSs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not even all Linux based. All right, cool. So, is there anything else to go over? Or are we kind of delving into this?
I'm good to go.
Cool.
Good
So,
to go.
I just popped up the map in case anybody needs it.
Thank you. Yes,
I love the
I
map.
keep forgetting to do that every time.
Maps are fantastic.
I also always mix up the D and H in parallel, not because that looks right to me. The issue is I write that and then I question myself and so say, wait, no, that looks wrong suddenly, and then I flip it, and it's always that one.
Here we go. All right, so you guys, I've actually never, let's be honest here, never actually named these rivers. That might be a fun thing to do while I'm on vacation. Is like stopping, going into my parallel map, and like naming the rivers and maybe changing the way that the capital. So there's 3 like capital cities in each province, like actually marking them differently on the map, so there's like a star instead of a dot and stuff like that. So to make things a little bit easier for us moving forward, that might be a fun thing for me to do if you could define fun that way.
I would.
Yeah, that's probably something for me to work on. I won't lie though, this particular map I probably won't update because this map right here that you're seeing with all the different colors was not easy to do. I took my major map, I cut part of it out just this area outside to like little tiny little loops and cut to get it to just the region it is. And then after I did that, I then made different copies of it. And each individual copy, so I made 9 copies. Each individual copy, I then just played with the coloration of it until eventually I got it to the colors I wanted to be. And then I had to put them all back together. So making this map that as defined as it is with the 9 different colors, I'm not even joking, probably took me about 14 hours. So yeah, without even slightly exaggerating, probably took me 14 hours. So this map will probably never get updated because fuck that noise. Mind you, I could just say, hey, Rena, can you fix this in GIMP for me? And she'd be like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. But, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of easier ways of doing it than what you seem to have done.
Yeah, well, you know, work with the tools that you have. And if you are the tool, then you're sad. So, anyways, back to the rivers. So your characters had left the Barren Lands. And as I had more or less left off around this area, you had left the Barren Lands and you had traveled through that small town. We did a small amount of RP with your characters in that small town, kind of like resting up and everything. What's his name? Neil's character totally been like, yes, I also was in the Barren Lands. And got the nice bed, which is funny. Even though he technically wasn't in the Barren Lands, he did the easy work. He stayed on the boat, fought back some Karuk. And whatnot. It'd be funny to have Neil come up with like how it was that he had defended it. I know Neil can't really watch this because he's at work right now, but giving him like freedom of a little bit of storytelling. And besides, if he's on a ship, you can imagine it's embellished a little bit because that's what people on boats do, right?
True.
The goldfish was this big. That's actually a real thing happening right now, but that's a different conversation.
Scott, under movement speed, so, I have derped and forgotten. I'm looking at my movement speed. It says 20 now. Isn't base 30?
It's because you're wearing medium armor on the sheet.
I'm sorry. What are you saying, sir?
Oh, you know what it is? I think some of the okay. So I think some of my augments have come in saying they're medium armor, and that's why it thinks it's triggering that.
Yeah, medium armor is the default setting. So just click it and put it to MISC, then it should be fine.
Okay, so that's what's happened.
So hold on, I'm just double checking what you're trying to, Gallon. It's probably under your additional tab. Yeah, so you have a bunch of like little things in there say medium.
I see it.
Like he just said, change those to MISC. Yep. And you just one at a time. You change those. MISC, 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 MISC. It's a drop down. That's all it is.
Oh, I didn't need to open up the thing.
Nope.
Okay,
No, MISC, MISC. Just like that. One at a time. And you work your way down there. It's just your armors that need to be armor. That's all.
Yeah, okay, good. Glad I spotted that before we got into combat because I was like, hang on. That looks low.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, where were we? Oh, yep, you were at that town.
What? You changed someone to shield. What did you do? You fucker. Wait, hold up. He's messing with my sheet. I was trying to figure out why it changed page without me doing anything. It's because Scott was messing with it.
By the way, I am by no means an Apple apologist. The only good thing I'll say about Apple, while he's fixing that, the only good thing I'll say about Apple, Josh and Ash, is that the apps that go onto the Apple Store are rigorously tested, so it's very unlikely they're going to steal a whole bunch of your shit. Whereas the Android ones, for the longest time, were not rigorously tested, and they would just you would download the app and instantly would have access to all sorts of shit on your phone. Now they have changed it so that they have to ask permission for each thing that it's going to do on your phone and whatnot. But for years, it was not that way. We're talking in the past, 2 years?
Managing my mom's phone was hell.
Yeah. They would just be like, don't worry, we're staring at you while you sleep. And you gave us permission. Thank you for clicking download and never opening this app.
Yeah, but like every app asks for like access to your entire phone.
Everything. Yeah.
Like, is this really necessary for like
Why does the
Even-
flashlight app need access to my contacts?
Yeah, exactly. Even when they first transitioned over to them telling you what it was that they were taking access to, that was still like, that's when people started realizing what the fuck. But now they actually have to ask permission to get access to, which is again finally better. It's finally okay. So
Yeah.
that's the only complaint I would say, but that's now I believe resolved. Question mark?
Yeah, it's pretty good now.
So?
Even with like my mom using it, and she is very not tech savvy. She hasn't had any issues since they sort of changed things over. So
Yeah. But either way. So let's Jake, can you say 5 sentences for me? Supposedly you fixed your microphone, and I'm curious.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just watching the football. It's about to finish.
I can't pretend like I don't do that on Thursday nights when we play D&D if it was Pats were on. So go ahead, speak for me. I'm gonna mute the music.
Is it quiet?
No. Okay, yeah, cool. I can actually hear you much, not quiet at all. I can actually hear you much better.
Oh, good.
So did you get your Go XLR fixed?
Sure. I have no idea what I'm doing with it, but I'll be messing around with it.
Yeah, you can hear more fullness in his voice, can't you? Like it's no longer just
honestly.
yeah, it's no longer
Yeah.
just picking up his voice. You can actually hear like the back of his that sounds weird. You actually hear like the back of his
does
throat. You
sound
can hear like
weird when
the
you say
natural
that.
the natural like rasp or whatever inside of his voice. You can actually start to hear it a lot better. It comes in a lot more
I'm just-
clean.
Gonna very quickly grab a drink.
Yeah,
It'll
go ahead.
take me like 5. Yeah.
You're good, man.
Jump into the other room.
Did you try playing with your settings to make your voice sound like to find the balance that you're happy with?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have a lot of fun doing that with the Go XLR, which again, I did not get a Go XLR. I probably should get one, but anyways. And then the last thing I was gonna ask is, do you listen to your own audio? Can you hear
No.
yourself when you speak?
No.
Oh, okay. That was a hard transition when I went from the Blue Yeti, where I actually plugged in and used to monitor my own sound until I
yeah.
broke it. Until I broke both of them. But and so with this one, I like now I can hear myself well. Now I'm very fucking muffled. Like that was a hard transition to get used to. So, but all right, back to the music on. All right, so you guys, where we had left off, were traveling outside of the Barren Lands on the boats, coming to the area where you had found the inn for you to spend the night. Good news was you're able to get your hands on the inn. I think they gave it to you free or very cheap or whatever it was. They were very kind to you. They pulled out a bottle and gave you each a shot, the three of you. Sadly, not Porcel. Cell was left on the boat. The next morning, obviously your characters are going to be getting back on this boat to travel the rest of the way back to Ord. I think the name of Ord is the name of the town.
Ord.
I don't think there was anything else of importance in this city that in this town that you wanted to immediately take care of. Just try to remind myself. No, there wasn't. So the next morning, after you guys have that like fun little moment of being able to sleep in the bed, I imagine all of you actually get like a deep sleep inside the bed, really resting it in. Except for you, Porcel. It was nice to sleep on the boat the past couple nights. I won't lie. It was really nice.
Sleeping in a hammock, not too terrible.
Yeah,
Better than sleeping in the Barrenlands.
exactly.
There's not much worse than sleeping in the Barrenlands.
Exactly. So
This is one of those nights where like you hear the snoring and you know that like you could like flip them out of the bed, they probably wouldn't wake up.
don't get distracted. No stories. So, fight it, Scott. So you guys ended up piling back into the boat the next day after getting that proper night's sleep, and you do get a little bit of guff from the other sailors that are on the boat because you guys actually got to sleep in a proper bed. So it's one of those things where some of them being like teasing, like, "Oh, it must have been nice to sleep in a bed last night," and others doing things like, "Oh, like more or less, look at these mambies. They had to go sleep in the inn. They can't handle the ship." Like that whole like they portray their jealousy through regression in a and you just can't handle my lifestyle. That's all it is. That's all. That's like how I am with people that sleep. It's because you need sleep. Sad, lame, sad, low energy. Like,
Okay. The sailors are the worst.
It's the sleep is for the weak phrase.
Yeah. Sleep is for the weak. Yeah. That's what we tell ourselves when we cry and still can't sleep.
Said the pain through pain. It's through pain words. The sleep is for the weak.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace.
Should be an emote, that focus one. If I ever got my other emotes. Okay, that's it. Tangent time.
Oh, fucking.
You were so
We were
close.
so close. We were so close.
The artist kind of like, oh, I can finally get those to you by the end of July. And so he was like, hey, just checking back in on this. This is on Monday. I responded back because our time zone's different or whatever. Even though I think he lives near New York. But anyways, it's just because like when our lifestyle is different. I responded back yesterday saying, any updates? And he goes, oh, I was actually waiting on approval before continuing my work. I had all the sketches kind of done. I was just waiting, for your approval on you so I could finish up the emote, so on and so forth. And I was just like, oh boy, I assumed you were these are still being worked on. And then a very like disappointed face. I was like, when can I now expect the rest of these to be done? And then he responded back, actually a few minutes later, and I didn't realize because I have Twitter doesn't send push notifications to my phone. And he's like, oh, I'm just like, oh boy, I'll respond to that later on. But we had an understanding. Let's move on.
It's a rough situation.
It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. I like to believe that I'm clear when I communicate about things like this, but that's fine. Let's move on. You guys get back on the boats, and of course they're kind of like flaming you guys. They're just being utterly rude in their own way. If any of you happens to have a high sense motive, you can pick up. It's literally just the fact that they're jealous that you got to spend the night in the bed. Maybe that was made a little bit obvious when even Tethys makes a bit of a snarky remark about spending the night in the bed. Because I mean, Tethys, who also was in the Barren Lands side by side fighting with you, also had to spend the night on the beat up old hammock that his arm kind of like falls through, and the guy that sleeps above him in the hammock kind of like drops a bomb down on him because he can't sleep head beneath head. He always sleeps the other way, and so on.
The goddamn
Well, it might be
contrarian.
Yeah. What will be really interesting is this might be the first time Tethys has seen Galen without the crystal.
Oh,
Because he took it off overnight, as far as anyone's concerned.
do you want to describe your eyes so we can stare deeply into them in his mind?
No, we're good.
You sure?
Yeah, wait. I feel betrayed.
Tethys
Fine,
like
he has
to,
green eyes.
can we get a little bit more like does he have like green eyes? Are those fun little like starbursts on the inside that almost like they're like that golden hazel color, like
Or are they like emerald green?
yeah, like emerald, or maybe like a sea green, like down like around the Bahamas. Are we
Emerald
asking
green's
for
the
too
only one
much
I
here?
know, so emerald green's the only color I know out of those, so I'm just gonna say emerald green.
Also, it's a rock, so it kind of works, right?
It actually does, yeah.
it is a
one funny
geocrystal,
thing about
so-
that is because he is abnormally pale and he has white hair. That would definitely be the most colorful thing other than his armor about him.
So I do have to actually ask. So are these like typical emerald green eyes, or these like Colombian emerald green eyes? Like
What?
like
I don't get it either.
like clear,
I don't understand.
Colombian emeralds are like the most valuable emeralds in the world. It's like where the greatest emerald mines are. But like super clear, beautiful, pristine, dark in color, like gorgeous eyes, or they have like a bit of a milkiness to them.
They'd be fairly normal sort of emerald green.
Normal
Not-
emerald green.
Not fancy emerald green is
Not
what
fancy.
I'm getting. I don't know enough about what you're saying, but I'm trying to get across my image of Galen in my head. I don't imagine them being as you like that sort of emerald green as you described it. So probably
Just Google emeralds, click image, and Google Colombian emerald, and you can see what I mean, because there's just different qualities of emerald. So, anyways, back to the game. So,
Tesh, wait, by chance, would you describe Galen as ashy? I'm sorry.
anyway. Let's just continue, shall we?
Fine.
I
It's like everyone too.
love when we talk about emeralds. 5 viewers drop.
Well, it's because we're not talking about the slaves in Tessel's mines, okay? And the emeralds he gets.
Was it rubies? So you guys end up hopping back onto the ship, and you get a little bit of that like flaming or whatever from the crew that's there because you spent the night there. I imagine it ricochets easily off of all of you guys because you don't really care that much about it. And then you're eventually able to continue traveling the rest of the way south. As we're traveling the rest of the way
These
south,
people aren't going to eat us in our sleep, so we're good.
that is true. That is true. There are more rough experiences. Again, the trick back down there is a relatively quick one, so nothing actually worth noting. So I'm just going to push past all of this. It's when you get back to Orid that you go to meet with the de facto commanding officer that you happen to have here, so you can have your proper meeting with this commander. What was their name again? It was a BT, I believe, not a BT, a BC, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was. No. It was CW, Vistra Dallin.
A Centurion of War, Vistra Dallin. That's right. So you guys are going to go and speak with Vistra because obviously with Vistra, she is a more direct.
No, it's not Sea Pearl. That's back in.
Sea Pearl's yes, correct.
Murder.
So Vistra is the Vistra is the one that she's sorry, brain. She's the one that has a more direct command over Tethys' character. So this is the person that you're trying to go to, even though you're not giving her your full report. This is the person you're trying to appeal to for the sake of what you guys were talking about prior, right? So when you go to meet with Vistra, not to give the full report, but to give a report to a degree, because this is the area that she happens to command over, that she does need intelligence of what was found there, et cetera, et cetera. It directly impacts her job and the people that serve underneath her, right? So you guys will go to meet with her when you actually get back to Orid. Orid, of course, being a much larger city, so there's more access to items and whatnot there in case you guys are here to get your hands on some. But when you go to actually meet with her, you prepare for the meeting. This time she's actually going to meet with you, of course, in her office again, so you can have that conversation. So jump cutting ahead again to your characters going in for this particular meeting. I'm going to have Neil there because it makes sense for him to be there. I most likely won't chime in with his character unless it makes perfect sense for him to do so. It has been a few weeks since I heard him roleplay his character, so I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect happening between like my understanding of him. So I'm going to try not to touch on him if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So anyways, going back to you guys, going in there for that meeting, she just simply asks the question, what news do you bring from the north?
Well, we found our way to the ruins that I believe you were looking into the report of when we were leaving.
Looking into all the details that you can offer pertaining to the crew, what they experienced. I'm of course going to receive my full report from the captain. As a matter of fact, it was already put on my desk this morning by the dockmaster. But that doesn't mean that you don't bring a different perspective. We of course view outside perspectives.
I'm referring to she was looking into the reports of the ruins because I had found reference to it, and she was going to check through her own sources here.
Oh, yep. So my apologies. Could you toss that phrase again?
I don't remember what it was, but it was more or less just like more or less referencing, the ruins that I told you about, that you were looking into.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we made our way there, found them. There are a large gathering of mostly orcs there.
And Galen would at this point extend that hand with the spyglass.
She would take that back, give it a quick inspection, see that there's like some sand in it in spots from like wind blowing by or whatever. But overall, it's not scuffed or anything like that. You've obviously treated it very well and were careful with it even during combat, intentionally mentioning things. So it's fine. She says, thank you. She takes it, looks it over for like 5 or 6 seconds, and then says thank you again and puts it down with the cap on or whatever, or inside of its little case on the desk. And she says to you, a large group of orcs inside the area?
Yeah, they seem to be making, although not permanent structures, somewhat of a shanty town around the ruins. What, me not being an expert, but what I found interesting was they were not just, they were preparing food for the long haul. They were using every part and getting, looked like they were storing it.
So not just simple survivability, but actual storage preparation.
Yes.
Unusual,
seemed
but
to
at the
be
same
led
time,
By
not
a human.
by a human.
Yeah, he seemed to, and he looked to Galen, seemed to have command, and the orcs either feared or greatly respected him.
Galen will describe he auto hypnosis memorized the features, so he would describe him as best he can as a description, like the long hair, I can't remember, but I especially made sure that Galen auto hypnosis memorized all.
I mean, he was kind of
the
far off, so it's not like you got a ton of detail,
Yeah.
but you
Oh
memorized
no,
as much
but I
as you
got
could.
like descriptive things. So.
Yep. Yep.
Am I there? or
The
no?
regal nature of him was a big one. It looked like he was not. He wasn't dressed like he was from the Barrenlands. He almost looked like he was wearing them, like you said, in a regal manner.
Let's put a
Rather out
pin
of
in.
place
Let's put a
amongst the
pin
others.
into this conversation where it is right now and take it back a step. I imagine Tethys would actually come to this meeting as well, and just so I can address the fact that Tethys is here because he actually went into the Barrenlands. Because thank you, Sal, for speaking up. Should have done it earlier. Beat him.
Okay.
So, so the she would actually say, thank you for coming to give you reports, but I do have to inquire as to why it is that this Legionnaire is here with you.
The Legionnaire before you actually accompanied us in to the Barrenlands. One of our companions stayed to guard the ship, as the ship was also one of my priorities, which we have returned. This Legionnaire was instrumental in his ability to seem to command the other sailors in navigating through the wind of the rivers while we were under attack.
Instrumental, you say?
Yes.
She nods and says, I would like to have a report written on as to how and why you believe that to be the case. And then
I've
you just
already
put
written
one
it
on the
down here.
desk.
Yeah, he's like
it
he
over.
already has one ready.
Yeah.
She looks like down at it, and it's one of those things where it's put down in front of her. She's like, it's impressive that you already went ahead and did that. Like,
Yep.
so she'll actually kind of like leaf through this, like, nothing crazy, but you can imagine almost like a 3-page report, talking about it, and looks it over and checks it out, and she says, well then, thank you for that. Going back to the other side, you had mentioned beforehand that he was human, so on and so forth, wearing it, and then I believe Jake said almost like he was wearing the Barrenlands as like a geyser.
Yeah,
I think I just
he
said it very rather out of place.
looked
Rather
out
out
of
of
place compared to everyone else, but at the same time, he was clearly in a position of power. And then Jake added whether that be a fear or respect.
Okay, so you with that being said, you she actually thinks for a moment and then responds saying, I think it's strange you specify human. Do you mean to draw a descriptive line between the human and the orcs? Or do you mean that he was not Karak, based off the rest of the description that you've given?
I'm not so familiar with the term. It's something that I've picked up while we've been here. Back home, we refer to them differently. But that area was mostly dominated by orcs. So it was slightly, I'm pretty sure. Sure? Yeah. So it was rather noticeable, especially for them to be so receptive.
Well, every tribe is a little bit different. But when it comes to the Karak, orcs do tend to be the predominant group of people. But the Karak are a blended group in general. They have their own subgroups, and every tribe is a little bit different. Some of them are a little bit more homogenous. I imagine that homogeny could cause issues over time, maybe even others to ridicule them for their closed-minded approach to how it is that they should maintain their clan or tribe, with their leadership style. But otherwise, it's something that we've been looking into to understanding better ourselves. So you're saying that there is we'll say human, we'll say non-Karak, a human, that was amongst them, that seems to be wearing them, and as Galen, sorry, as the Excellent over here was suggesting, seems to be wearing the Barren Lands as a guise as opposed to as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
May I
Will nod.
interject? CW?
She speaks and she says, "Speak up, Legionnaire."
What the BT and the Excellent have said is mostly true. These Kuruk weren't normal. I've spent lots of time in the Barren Lands. They were wasting parts of animals, putting them away to be to just not be used. They were building structures and order, which is not very common amongst the tribes.
Wastefulness amongst the Karak is certainly something that we should be deeply concerned about. As you see on the side of her desk, an unfinished meal that's most likely just going to have the leftovers thrown away.
Another point of note, Galen, was I believe you saw through the spyglass, it was made up of different clans.
Yes, specifically
Perhaps, yeah.
that I could determine at least 9 differences in terms of things that would be clan differences. Whether that was the entire clan or otherwise is, I couldn't tell at the distance we were at. But it is a larger amount than I would have liked to have seen.
9 tribes working together is more than what would be considered typical. Tribes uniting for short periods, short stints is not out of the ordinary. They could have a common enemy. They could have a common purpose. Maybe even a great hunt that they might do for a big takedown of a growing population of boar in the area. Because if I don't think I ever named them. Because if the boars are growing in population, that means that they're feeding off of the Karak, so they could become a genuine concern. That's not unusual, but 9 tribes together, there has to be some uniting factor beyond a small cause. So the primary concern of what we're always looking for here, one of the reasons why we constantly send trips into the Barren Lands, is to look for signs of the next horde. We're fully aware of the cyclical cycle of the Barren Lands and the Karak inside there, how it is that they consistently go this pattern back and forth of doing it. But are these the early signs of a horde that's coming together? Or is this something else? I don't know. Were you able to find out details? Were you able to listen in on conversation, find written notes or word, or see what unifying factors that might be between the different tribes?
No,
was
we were
only-
not
there
able
was
to sneak into the I don't know what you call it.
Camp. Well, the
Camp,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess
more
that's
like-
actually.
But a town. Like,
Yeah, there was one other thing that we were able to determine. This individual that was acting as a leader figure of some kind seemed to be making sure the production kept going, almost as if there was a rush in trying to get as much as they need.
Did this person
unfortunately,
take this position, or was this person appointed or accepted or placed into this position? These are all very important details. Were you able to get any of them?
With
unfortunately,
the little information I do know, it's more than likely he took it rather than be given it. He seemed to be an outsider.
he
Didn't
raised
see
his
the
axe.
Baroque that we encountered didn't seem to be well taking outsiders.
There was a moment where it looked like a dispute was happening, and he raised his axe in order to quell it. So,
Understand. And I also understand that you were deep into the Barren Lands itself, and so obviously, for you to return safely, you had to be a bit safe. Figured out what you could before you could return. I understand
Wasn't
that.
wasn't
there is
his
no their tactics. So, sorry, go on.
no, he would wait for you to talk. You're higher ranked than him.
He was just going to say there was a note of their tactics when we were unfortunately spotted. There was a war cry, and we were chased and followed the entire way until I believe we lost them nearing the river. They would. That is not a usual thing for 4 individuals to be chased that long.
I mean, a call for the hunt would be as long as the hunt is considered something to be valuable. So it's not unusual to be chased for great distances. The
Did we
question
see
is,
how
why
many
would
there
you be
were?
called to be? Why would there be a call for you to be
Yeah.
considered valuable? So if there was a call to the hunt, that means this person decided that they needed to bring you down, but somehow you were able to escape from them and retreat from the Barren Lands, which is a good thing, of course. Is it because they recognize that you witnessed what they were doing? Of course, that's what's in the tip of all of our minds at the moment. Or is it because you were someone that seemed to have something of value on your person that would benefit them? Perhaps, I believe you brought, you said you were bringing a mule or donkeys or something you were putting onto the boat. Perhaps they saw that as
had a
being a
single
rare or
mule.
strange kind of meat that they wanted to get their hands on. It could be something as simple as that or something as complex as that.
So we have a speculation on our end.
But and you were gonna say something, Sal?
To also note, his axe was unique, wasn't it? I know you spotted it.
I
Galen.
can't remember if what details we got about the axe, Scott. I would
talking
have.
about
That
the
was
fucking
part
axe,
of
right?
the
I wanna hear it.
autohypnosis, but I can't remember if there was anything specifically, Scott.
Is the way that the metal had sheened, like the sheen of the metal,
Okay,
like
so-
the color of it.
Oh, that would actually be a thing to point out because that would be a unique thing in the Barren Lands, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so when he says
Steel,
that,
first of all, but yeah.
yes, his axe had a unique sheen off the metal. It was. Was there a way you described it to me that
I
was
believe it's like a bluish sheen, doesn't it?
okay? A blue sheen. It's not a. I've not seen a metal like that. At least not used in a weapon.
Is this another type of way that they make their bronze? Bronze usually has some deep yellow colors to it.
I don't believe so. It looked more refined than that.
Well, I'm sure it's all in the report. She says, looking at Jake's character.
None.
I mean, to be noted, Galen wouldn't have kept any of these details from Viggo.
Of course,
so
of course, and it's all going to be in the report too.
he would put it in his report, I imagine.
Had she just
I
chosen to read the
will-
report and speak to you, that'd be a different conversation. But she wanted to speak to you to see if she can get any additional information outside of whatever's written in the report. 'Cause sometimes when you talk to people, you can trigger more memories than something that's written down. But still,
That's
you've
true,
been trying
yeah.
to say something for like the past 8 minutes.
No, that was
Sorry.
it. I just wanted to get the little emphasized points of like the weird.
The axe, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Jake,
Yeah.
you're about to say something.
Yeah. It's a CW is what he'd right?
Mhm.
He'd say, CW. Before we leave, probably. I'll get to it straight after this. I'm going to attempt to make you a map detailing where these ruins are. I noticed that every map we have here is different. I'm going to attempt to find some cohesion, as well as with my own notes that I've taken throughout the my trek. If you don't mind, I would like to talk with you. No, he's not being formal. He would say maybe I could present it to you over dinner.
She'll. It's like one of those things where sense one of everybody. It's actually pretty good sense motives. Especially you, Tesh. You can actually see Viggo and Gallon. You can actually see that she gets a little bit flushed at that, like completely caught off guard by the forwardness of it. And whether or not she appreciates it, you're not going to be able to pick that up, right? But she's a little bit caught off guard by that, and she responds and says, "I think a map left on the desk would suffice."
Oh no, sorry. I just wish to get some more information about the area. I thought who better to ask than the commander before we left.
Diplomacy check.
Thank you.
Whoa, no. Oh, shit.
She goes,
She feels silly now, doesn't she?
she goes, I understand. Perhaps I can find time for a luncheon then.
Sounds good.
Downgraded from dinner to lunch. A coffee. So that you can get out of quickly. Like, So anyways, she'll agree to it and say that she can meet with you the next day for lunch. So, even Scott makes things in game awkward. Excuse me, I'm not the one asking my commanding officer out to dinner. Thank you very much, Josh. Josh, I would love to see you walk into a female commanding officer of yours in the Air Force office and say, "So would you like to talk about this over dinner?"
You nearly had it there. You nearly had it.
You should just give it up on it after like the glasses thing. But you just committed to it, and it's like me on Warmonger
They get
all
stuck
the time.
halfway, so you just stop and you just put them back on.
Yeah.
Show that again. Would you like to talk about this over dinner?
Can we get like a yikers, please?
What was that? What was that? I already said so. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, can we get a yikers?
Yeah. Anyways.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and make this map as well.
Yeah. But also, you gotta write down how compelling your argument is for the way that Cell had behaved, a lot of duty, so on and so forth. So you gotta fill out that report for me. I'm sorry that you already wasted your 20, but you're gonna have to go ahead and roll a diplomacy check in your writings there.
Rolls on that one.
I wasted that 20.
Bye.
There you go.
Oh
7A.
no.
Lock it.
Yeah, hang on. Look, you know what? I'll try for you if we have
See if
any
you
luck.
get the 20. Yeah, we want a reoccurring friend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's a good report. Very to the point.
It was a trash roll. He's like, I'm gonna natty 20
buddy,
a date for my harem,
That's a 20.
but
He's got a
No.
Aurorum
anti-date.
harem.
Very informative report.
Well, I guess no, you're right. I see what you're saying. Never mind.
anyways, so what was I saying? Sorry.
Calling HR.
All right, so yeah, you're going to be able to set up the report and everything. I'll fill you in on that one afterwards. So, but otherwise, you're going to spend your time drawing out this map. So, of course, you're going to go into the facility where they make the maps and store them and so on and so forth, and utilize the equipment that they have there. So, this is going to be a cartography role, but because of the fact that you're intentionally doing something to benefit her, she's going to appoint another cartographer to assist you in the matter. So, they're going to be there to kind of like help you work through the tools and whatnot that they have. And guide you through like the processes that they use. This is going to give you a what's the word I'm looking for? A circumstantial +2 bonus is what they offer, unless you just gave yourself a circumstantial.
I did not.
Oh, you gave yourself a luck. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can't luck it, but I got luck.
Yep, cool. You are welcome to go ahead and roll, my friend, with that +7 total.
Beautiful. All right, so don't roll trash.
Go ahead. Oh, you probably added the modifier.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
There we go. A proper map.
That is really good. That is well, a proper map considering your skill level.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's a good mapper. I got 35. Give me that. Give it to me.
So much like the.
It's above his skill level.
What's that angry chef?
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay, a proper map.
Yeah.
I'm like a college student that takes Ritalin to like study through the night. You know what I mean? So I take my luck bonus and I just get to work.
Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. I thought you were gonna say something bad, but you're just you're being nice. No, you have to specify it was illegally purchased Ritalin, because you're a college student.
Yes.
What is
Stop.
Ritalin?
Of course.
Well, he also means Concerta or Adderall. Same difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ritalin was the old version of it. So, as somebody with ADHD, it has it all prescribed to him. So, either way, you are, so yeah, you're able to drop this map again, considering your skill level, right? This is a map well beyond your typical ability to draw. You actually listen closely to the teachings of the person that's assisting you. Sometimes actively try to describe what it is that you're trying to do next, and honestly, just being like, can you just do this portion, and like handing off like maybe the way that you're trying to describe off like the curvature of like a river or whatever it is that's in the area, so that they can adequately do like the hand stenciling portion. So it very much becomes this again collaboratively made map, not just simply your hand that does it all, because of how closely you work with the cartographer that was there and assigned to assist you. But you're able to draw one that's pretty friggin' accurate, including like the for lack of a phrasing, the glassed area of the Barrenlands, where you guys had the areas that you can kind of like fall into, a description of what those areas are like, even somewhat a description of how to identify them moving forward. You don't have too many treks through this region of the Barrenlands, and you don't know if this is a thing that's unique to this region or if they can be found throughout the other parts of the Barrenlands. Excuse me. So you go through kind of like describing all that that area all the way up into where the actual ruins were. It's on the trek home that things get a little bit more wonky, where you have a harder time trying to describe that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I forgot something that she wanted to ask you guys. I'll just have to have your next commander do so. So anyways, you actually put together this very well drawn map that's there, to the point where the actual person that had kind of assisted you in making it, they look at this thing and they're just like, wow, this is the most detailed map of this going inland in this region here that we have. All the other detailed maps we have are going to be much, much closer to the Perrin border than this. This is well made. You keep good notes. They say like with like a genuine like compliment.
Yeah. Theo just says thank you. I do like to keep busy.
He informs you. He's like, if you want like the inks or whatever that you guys were using for making this, he can actually do like a soft printing onto another map. So the way that the inks kind of like hold on there, more or less, I take a bit of parchment and they like gently almost it's much thinner, almost like a baking sheet, and they gently roll it out onto it, apply a very small amount of pressure across the top. More or less what they do is they kind of clamp it down in the corners and get like a piece of like a bit of wood, almost like much like a bamboo shoot, except it has to be like flat, not with like the knobs that bamboo actually has, right? And they kind of like just gently roll it across, and they pull it up and makes a just softer, not as detailed because like some areas didn't quite hit as strong because you don't want to smudge the bottom part, imprint of the map that was above, because it was like blotching off all of the still wet portions from down below, so the other can properly rolled up when it finishes drying, right? So they take this imprint, and once that thing finishes drying, they finish filling in the sketch areas and whatnot, and they actually roll that up and give it to you, so you could have a small imprint of the original, not the actual original.
I did want to take one back to the Sea Pearl anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. So again, it's an imprint of the original. I say small, but this is not a small made thing, right? Like if you look at actually how cartography is done, they're in pretty massive bits of paper because you have to be able to have the room to give the detail, right? What?
I just appreciated that, Josh. That's a good one.
That's right. It's a Viggo.
So anyways, you you
Get a style named after you. I mean, it's possible if you make enough maps.
it's the Viggo original, right?
Yes, it is.
Either way, Josh, go pick some blueberries. Colorblind motherfucker. So you
Are you making fun of his disability? Wow.
Not in the least bit.
Wow.
No, not in the least bit. The
Shame on
daughter's
you, Scott.
shoveling sour strawberries into my face. So, but I don't know if I told you this part. Josh's daughter, however, the sour strawberries, she was eating them. She's like, more sour ones, please. I was like, really? Does she like lemons and shit? And he's like, she loves them. So I'm like intentionally washing sour blueberries, like the ones that are like not fully ripened that Josh picked, for her so that she could eat them. But my daughter's taking them more or less by the fistful and shoving them in my face, and I'm like, ah! And she's taking off my sunglasses just to watch my pained reaction. She literally ripped my glasses off my face so she could watch me in pain. I'm like, oh God.
Sounds about right.
Yep. I was like, oh, this is my kid. Josh's daughter is like, I'll share the pain with you, stranger. It's okay. And mine's like, suffer, old man. Anyways, so the game. So you finish up this map. They give you the imprint and everything. They kind of like sketch it out or whatever to fill in the gaps, so you can have a portion of it. It is a very well made map. That pretty much covers up everything that you're going to go over there. Just trying to remember, what was the question she was going to ask you? Oh, nothing. So she will actually call to you two. So you're going to go out to lunch with her. So when you go to sit down and have the lunch with the Centurion of War, she'll kind of like sit down and have a bit of like paperwork with her, as well as to sit there. You can imagine she's doing other work as well as this, just kind of like bringing it with her as she goes. There's no rest for the wicked, and you are a parent. So you'll go in and have a sit with her. You guys, of course, order your food, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I'll let you to take over at this point, Jake, since you're the one that called for the meeting.
Sure. Basically, I wanted it to be dinner because Viggo kind of wanted to drink. Because he wants to know about what campaigns or things have been launched from here. Like he's after news about his brother. He spoke to just the random soldiers, but now he's gone for like person in charge. He
Gotcha.
just wants to, like, yeah.
So, you could definitely have drinks at lunch. There's no reason not to. I feel like anytime I ever go anywhere with anybody at lunchtime, they're always drinking. And I'm like, did I used to do that? I think I used to. I don't remember. But I'm always sitting there like, it's 1:00. Is it really alcohol time?
I mean, like a week and a bit ago, the entire sky turned red. I'm sure drinks aren't going to be like like be a weird thing at the moment.
Like, you think like the universe is ending or something, you know what I mean? Shit's kind of rough right now.
It's just Rena rolling into town. They see me rolling. They hating.
The sky wouldn't be red. It would be black, filled with the smoke of the burning barn.
That's
That's what I want to do.
That's
It's true.
yeah, but that wasn't Rena. So anyways, it's not dinner, obviously, it's lunch. So you're gonna order a drink. And it's one of those things where you kind of offer you go to order a drink. So you're like, I'm gonna order a drink, and then you're like, did you want one? And she, kind of like as a casual, like, no, I don't think so. And I imagine you'd be like, you sure? Or however it is you'd phrase it. You can go ahead and roll that Australian diplomacy check. Like, come on, mate.
We would just insult you if you didn't drink at lunch.
Would you like to tell us some of the insults that you would use? Or is that more of a
I do not. Definitely do not.
Yep. Tess is like, while I don't approve of these, I am familiar.
I will say I guess it's not quite the right usage, but it's a similar sort of usage. My favorite phrase is, "We're not here to fuck spiders."
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's a real phrase.
I don't know where that came from.
What?
I have no idea where it started.
I have heard people use it though.
I've heard, yeah. It's
but what does it mean?
Where it started? Like.
I'm not here to mess around.
Don't go to a bar. You go to a bar to drink. You didn't come here to fuck spiders.
I don't understand it though.
Look, we don't understand it. Okay, we don't get it. It's not something that we get.
I love it.
We know what context someone's using it. We don't know why they use it. It's weird.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure we also have phrases because there are some things that like you hear phrases and it's just because it's like A, old world phrasing. So it just like doesn't make sense in modern context, or B, old world phrasing, or sorry, translated from another language, or C, old world phrasing translated from another language, right? Like those are all phrases that you hear and you're just like, what?
Oh, no, this is something that just developed. I don't know how. It makes sense in context. It's essentially we're not like we came here for an obvious reason, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like the anchor point is the fuck spiders part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Chet, can you think of
like, well, we're not here to do blah. Insert outrageous thing as a sort of sarcastic reply. Except now it's, well, we're not here to fuck spiders.
I was gonna say, Chet, can you think of some like it's weird, Tesh. Yeah, some weird American phrases that are just like, what? Like, does a bear shit in the woods? Yeah, again, that's not a phrase I ever hear. Like, I've never heard somebody say, does a bear shit in the woods outside of with a very deep accent, like Southern accent in a movie. You know what I mean?
I feel like I may have heard that before, but I live in the South. So
Never. You know, the weirdest one I even heard when I was in the South was run her plum. I've told that story 100 times, but the short version was ask somebody for directions and they said, you got to drive 30 miles. You got to run her plum. And I was like, okay. Thank you, gentlemen from Tennessee at the gas station. I appreciate it. Like, but ding 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 ding. Like,
what the fuck? Why is that?
I don't know, man. I was in Tennessee. I just nodded and slowly backed away.
That's what you should do to anyone from Tennessee. Let's be real.
I mean, I was trying to get to the French Broad River. Anyways, so understanding the diplomacy rules as well as you do. Do you feel as though a 16 is a good enough roll, or do you think you want to modify that to guarantee that you can succeed in this? Because obviously, diplomacying her to drink will affect. Yeah.
Tesh, you
as a crow flies makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
What?
So do you mind?
I don't
Tesh?
mind if you. No, I don't mind at all. Go for it.
Thank you. Let's not get a 1.
Okay.
Get a 1.
So with an 18, you kind of give that like come on, you know, come on. And so, what did you order for yourself? It's out of curiosity.
Probably like beer, I guess.
Is it just beer? Yeah, like getting like a scotch or a wine or like shots of tequila.
Well, I don't know if this is really the area for that. So,
It's up to you, man.
They're all. Yeah, no, he'll go for what the soldiers drink. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. You're just assuming she's just a soldier. All right, that's fine. So you order yourself a beer, and she'll be like, "All right, I'll take one too." And she'll oh no, she doesn't say that. She just looks at the person taking the order, and she just gives like a nod, and that's when you're like, "Hey,
hey."
So
Just put that collar up.
So you so kind of the conversation that you're leading into here, because you don't have to like full RP this, right? Like we're gonna get to the RP portion. What do you kind of like start off conversation with early on? Like what are you looking to chat with her?
I'll just start with talking about the trip really, and I'll talk about how how she told us, not to like attack certain Karuk on site and things like that. And when we got off the boat, there was that tribe there who ended up, helping us greatly. And
she actually, I can actually ask my question I was going to ask you beforehand. She says, after you encountered, she goes, actually, there's something I meant to ask you yesterday. After you encountered the Karuk in the Barren Lands, the strange collection of the horde that there was, were you able to get a general opinion of the other tribes along the river? Speak to several of the tribes, see if you could find out any more information about them, rumors that they had heard, so on and so forth.
The only rumors we got, if I remember, was about the omen about the sky, right?
Correct. You heard rumors about the omen of the sky, and then you also only spoke to one tribe, realistically. Go ahead.
Yeah, but they said they were looking to move away from it because they were worried about it.
Correct. Along the river, most of the tribes seemed very wary. They didn't approach. Most of them attempted to attack the boat. However, there was this one tribe not headed, but a prominent member that the Legionnaire knew. His name was Geeka. We did speak to him, and he mentioned that they were also concerned about the number of other Karuk around, and that he would be moving with his tribe away from the area. The only other bit of information I got was in regards to the sky turning red before we left. Now, it is their belief that Sal, help me out here because I don't remember what they said.
I don't remember either. I think it was like a sign that like things are gonna be happening.
Yeah, because you made a mention to someone made a mention to the horde. That's how someone took it, but I can't remember what he exactly said.
I tried to get information on it, and I like rolled one on my diplomacy check, but they specifically. I just got timed out.
You kept misspelling your name. I kept forgetting to see.
Was it specifically is that when I tried to dig into if this was a sign of the horde, they would not tell me.
Yeah, well, I would just tell her whatever it was that he said. I can't remember what it was.
So there's just more or less signs that the horde is coming.
Yeah.
That's the short version. She'll actually listen to that, and she'll say, I'm not entirely sure that that's what this is. This seems to be something different. but we are talking about the Barrenlands Karak here. These are a people that will make significance out of anything. If the moon rises a certain way, it carries significance rather than it just simply being how celestial bodies are set to pace in the sky. That being said, you're saying that Tethys, this legionnaire, has diplomatic relations with some of the tribesmen.
Yes, he can actually. I don't know how common it is, but he can speak the language. He's been teaching me a little bit. I'm endeavoring to learn myself.
Well, I think Tethys might end up getting timed out for longer than 1 second. Josh, can you time him out for 20 seconds for me, please? Thank you. So she responds saying, and was his aid in this matter instrumental?
Well, through his rapport with that tribe, we were able to locate the ruins rather quickly, not spending more time than we needed to out wandering amongst the wastes.
She nods. I had actually put in here. I put in here the paperwork to push through for a promotion for the Legionnaire. I had actually signed it up, and as you being the person that seemed to want to sponsor this promotion, I was going to collect your signature today to see if we could promote him to being a Legionnaire Superior. But you believe that the young Legionnaire is somebody who might have some diplomatic talent. Do you think that perhaps you would even go so far as to suggesting him putting in an application for the officers training? The Officers Academy?
The best part is we couldn't understand any of the conversations, so we don't know just how terribly some of them went.
It went so bad.
Viggo also knows officer training, and he has a general idea of Tethys's intelligence.
I got a 12, 14 wisdom though, which is just as important.
Officer training. Well, while he was instrumental in securing what seemed to be assistance from these people, he seemed to have good rapport with the one in particular. I believe he kept calling him Tony, but he said his name was Geeka, so I'm not exactly sure how friendly they were. But if he can take the training, if he can do the training, then you can see Viggo is a little bit confused. He's just like, I don't know if I want to go so far, but he'll say, I would ask him where he sees himself within the Paradol military.
It sounds as though you have apprehension in this matter, and so I'll ask you not to push it any further. So, were you willing to sign the paperwork to sponsor him for his promotion?
I am.
She nods and she slides the paperwork over across the way, as well as the well pens so that you can sign it and whatnot. And she says, "Consider it taken care of. The Legionnaire will get a little bit of a promotion for his action and whatnot. And from everything else that I had read from your report, will actually be earning a medal as well, as a considerable amount of bravery he showed on the field of battle, and even more so outside of his typical comfort zone. However, the reports that I did receive from his captain do suggest otherwise."
Yeah, there was a part on the ship, and that's why I brought it up earlier. The captain seemed to be having some trouble, and and insubordination though it was, it ultimately saved our lives.
She nods and says, I also read your report of the captain. It was a rather scathing, even tone.
In my opinion, he's not worthy of the rank, but I am speaking of a superior, so you'll forgive me.
She nods and says, I thought it was pretty funny that you wrote such a scathing review without saying anything actually insulting or degrading in the least bit. It was well written.
Thank you. I try.
She says, hopefully my reports are as satisfying for you as yours were for me for the reading. That being said, she slides across the table a small pack of papers that are there. She says, I had a few of my aides looking into the matter that you had asked to get a little bit more information on about the ruins inside the area, about what would be found here. I hope this is able to suffice. There might be more lore of old hidden about, but unfortunately, it's kind of hard to focus attention on things like that when there are more pressing matters at the moment, you know. So, but I did have a bit of information put together for you. Hopefully this can be cross-referenced at the more grand libraries that you could find in future travels.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
She nods. Obviously, you guys, as you're kind of like going on and having this bit of conversation, and she actually got you intentionally to like pierce through your formality to get like your opinion of the captain, like your verbal opinion, as opposed to a documentation opinion, which I 100%, that's, in, you know, the past as a boss. Anytime I've ever written anybody up, I'm one of those zero emotion on paperwork people. Because if you ever have to utilize that paperwork in like a courtroom, if there's any emotion, the judge just assumes there's all emotion, all the paperwork, and all gets thrown out, and then like you completely lose. So you have to like 100%. These are the policies. This is how the policies were or weren't followed. This is the actions that were taken. These are the continued blah blah blah. Done. Clean, clear, no emotion. So I imagine that Viggo has that kind of like very clean approach to things because of how formally he was trained. Moving on.
He's meticulous, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. So you, sir, are going to, of course, try to convince her not for that one drink, but for several drinks. Trying to get her to relax a little bit, so you can try to like pry a little bit of information from her, carousing, if you will. So why don't you go ahead and roll another diplomacy check as you're trying to convince her into like another? Come on, one more. You know, that sort of a scenario. It's the libations.
Mm-hmm. I have nothing to help me here either.
I believe.
Where are we?
I have to disagree with you on that one, Green. I think there are many different tools that you can find in one's box, and you should pick and choose the tool that you need as needed. You know what I mean? You don't bring an adjustable wrench when you need a screwdriver, right? Like there are many tools to leave in the box, and you pull them out as needed. So, either way, so you with your 21 there, you guys are like relaxing, enjoying the meal or whatever that's there. You're like, you know, so I can imagine your character's even like, oh, you got the, you know, you got the whatever duck. Like that actually pairs extremely well with, you know what I mean? Because you have a legitimately noble upbringing. So this is even bullshit. You're actually giving, like this is that's something you would absolutely know. And she'd be like, really? And so she'd be like, can I get a taste of that? And then bring over a taste. And when she realized like how good it is, she'd be like, I'll take a glass. And actually, like, you know, kind of like it goes into that thing where you guys are having a little bit more formal conversation, but also it starts to fall into the informality as you're having a bit of like chatting back and forth. So now that you've actually gotten her to like, say again, loosen up the libations enough that you could potentially get her to be more willing to talk because you're trying to get information. This is where you're going to start to steer your conversation away. So you can imagine that she had just finished telling a story. Going back to something that you had touched on beforehand, specifically telling a story about the captain. that you didn't get along with.
Yeah.
And when he first came to the command here, and just kind of like something that he had done that was embarrassing for him, and that she had to clean up the mess after. You know what I mean? Like paperwork wise, not literally clean up the mess afterwards, because it's something that he had done wrong. And you guys both kind of like chuckling. It's like one of those like good hearty chuckles about it. That's where you can kind of like, slip into the different questions that you had.
Yeah. I don't know how much RP it's going to be, but basically I'm just inquiring about any more or less campaigns that have been launched into here, because I remember my brother specifically saying he had been sent into here, like I don't know if it was on a campaign or something like that. So he's just wondering, who's been through here, when she's since she's been in command. Maybe there's like phrasing it in a way of even using Leon Jaeger as a reference, not in game, but how he's known, like he's a known commander. Just being like, oh, has there been any, known people come through here, all that stuff.
You're gonna go ahead and roll me you're gonna go ahead and roll me because you're trying to be discreet about this. You're actually going to get a diplomacy check. It's supposed to be, because gather information is diplomacy. It's supposed to be with a -10 because your what's the brain's not working here? Trying to do so discreetly. But I'm only going to give you a -5 because you are opened up conversation, you had a couple of drinks, things are looser, so on and so forth. So you're going to roll diplomacy with a -5, and then I'm going to roll a sense motive. That's a good roll. Does that include the -5?
Yep.
That's a good roll.
I don't think I have luck. I'm going to
You can
try
try.
though. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Damn it.
Yep. Nobody loves you. Sorry.
So
Oh,
22
almost at
with
1,
a
2, 30.
-5 is real good.
All right. I'm going to roll my sense motive. I mean, she's a commander. She's a CW. So she, of course, has a decent check in this. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Okay.
You're tempting fate, man.
Ooh. Ooh. The question is
listen.
this
I was going
something?
to say, is this something you want to
Daddy's dice?
chuck me out of, with the daddy's dice?
Is this something that
Well, they could be more important things, definitely.
I'd be like, what? What else would I want to use it for?
Killing
I
regicide?
don't know, crit confirms or something.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point. Do you want to save them for regicide?
You guys have different pools.
You can't. We have our own pools. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh,
I didn't realize that either.
Give me this one, sir. Come on, please.
oh, you timed out Ano. I was like, who had 32 messages deleted? Ano. Oh, okay.
Do it again, Josh. Timed out.
Nice.
I think
Nice.
you did it, guys.
Nice one, Josh.
All right, so I'm gonna save it for when I can beat you guys up. So I'm not gonna do it to you on this one. That'd be mean. So you go ahead and you ask this question, kind of like important things coming through, so on and so forth. And the important thing to note here is that you are not known, right? Like your name is Metahina, so it's not like she knows.
Yeah.
Oh, you ask about somebody in particular, buddy? What's your maiden name? So what's your family name?
Vensana.
Vinsana. That's right. That's right. Very Italian. So Vinsana. So you she actually will say, kind of like going through like, oh, I had this come through, this come through. She's like, of course, seen the River King several times. Have you personally met him yet?
No, I haven't. No. I hope to.
She nods and says, it's almost like the session was named that today. We'll see if we get to it. So
didn't even see that. Thanks for pointing it out.
So she says, have you even met the River King? He's come through and whatnot. But I have to say, probably one of the more interesting figures that I've had the opportunity to meet was, I got to remember the rank. It's been a while. Do you have the rank written down or no?
Oh,
No, I do not. I know he got promoted on my birthday, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I think he's actually a CW as well. So Centurion of War as well. Right? Oh no, he's several ranks ahead of you. Because that's only a few. He'd be an LC. On your birthday would become an LC. Yep. And that's a rank that you can retire as an LC. Like hell, you can retire as any of those, right? But as LC going above that, that's like what you've kind of that's most people's ceiling for even like the most dedicated and career people. Most people are hit the ceiling at LC because once you get to a BC, that's when you're literally leading the war and a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? LC's leading battles, so on and so forth. It's a big conversation difference. Anyways, so she's like, I did get to meet with Centurion of what? Oh, my apologies, Lieutenant Commander. I don't remember what you said. Verusimo? Vensana. I did get to meet with Centurion of my apologies, Lieutenant Commander Vensano before. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he is a bit of a legend around the Barrenlands.
He's a legend. What has he done?
Well, first and foremost, you know, of course, that we have the trek, the routes that you just went up and down in the rivers on the captained by our friendly local expert of the rivers of the canals here, the lieutenant commander. It was him that had led the troop up and into the Barrenlands to clear that area. It was him that had fought back the number of Barrenlands orcs that happened to be over there. Fought them back enough that we were able to establish a presence there. Held them back enough to continuing establishing a presence there, to the point where when they finally left the region and the new tribes came in, the new tribes that were encountered accepted the presence of the Paradel rather than trying to fight at it at every point in time. And the reason why we even have any diplomacy is because he paved the way for us to be able to do so. The man is dedicated and a well-trained tactician. It's said that he should have served underneath Leon. Had he done that he likely would have been able to reach the heights. Who knows, though? Maybe he could do so on his own. That's something that he had done over here, and that was when I got to meet him. I was stationed here shortly after he had completed his tasks and were overseeing others taking over in the area, including myself. So I was one of the people that at the time were underneath his command to it. But more recently, he had actually traveled through out of Grosva. He had traveled through there while I was in a meeting down in the area, and actually got to speak with him again. Apparently, he's being stationed over in Rast. If you don't know anything about that.
No, I've never been to Rast. Right?
No. Yeah. No. I don't
have the map open right now.
Open the map, damn it. Rast is at the tip of the peninsula to the east.
Okay. All right, yeah.
He's
stationed in Rast.
He's been stationed over in Rast. He's it doesn't matter. Anyways, he's probably one of the most exciting people. It's somebody who I was happy to bump into him when I saw him in Grosva, because he recognized me by face and knew my name. I don't know if that's something that he's just particularly good at, or if maybe I stood out. But with
uncharacteristically, Viggo smiles because he's, as much as he's lightened up, he still has a way about him. Mm-hmm. But when she does say that, he does break into a smile.
I'll sense motive. Oh, because I'm clicking the wrong thing. I was like, why is it not going? Did I not get a result? That was weird.
Nothing's coming. Oh, there we go. Ooh.
She won't pick up on it. What's up? What's up, kiddo?
Can you guys hear this?
What's my phone number? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. My phone number is...
Ah.
It's the tubes. Whenever I get one of these, I cannot resist. That's why I had to mute myself.
That's very respectable.
Okay.
No, guys, we need the.
She wanted my phone number. She wanted my password for my phone.
You need to stall as long as possible so you don't meet the River King. So
He
you
is in
can
Papa.
meet them with Niels here. Okay,
Yeah, another P. Yep.
that's your mission, boys.
What's next?
We can do that.
Apple.
All we have to do is get chat to roll something when we're on the road, and then all will go to hell.
So APP.
Quick, someone trump card. Another orc
I
encounter.
suppose that's
Oh,
not so obvious.
please, no.
E.
No trump card. No,
E.
not a trump card. We
The
want to
elephant,
stall.
yep.
We don't want to die.
But it's not one apple. It's apples.
No. You won't be able to kill Cell. He's not coming with us.
Apples.
That's true. You gotta wait till Monday.
Right. But you want apples.
He's gonna trump
Yeah.
card the boat, and we're gonna like. Imagine if we
Oh
all
my
die
God.
sticking into the lake.
I could hear
And
scratching
after
through my wall.
today, I'm gonna
'cause
change the password to my
Right
phone.
there, like
Yeah,
2
you have to
meters
learn new
that way,
words.
is my neighbor's kitchen.
Absolutely.
I don't know what he's doing.
How
But I
many
can just
characters
hear
is that?
like
Is that
cutlery
six?
scratching and scraping.
APPLES.
Could be
washing
like-
his
I'll
dishes
get
or
new word
something.
from
Or like
they
a
can
metal
help me out over here.
spatula on a metal pan.
All right.
Could be that.
You want my phone
something
for
is
something?
touching the wall, and he's scratching something that's touching that, like the
You don't need my
counter
phone
that's
for
touching
anything?
the
Is
wall.
mommy still on her walk?
It's like that kind of scraping
I
sound.
see. Is mommy still on her walk? Oh,
Cleaning
you
a
just want
pan.
to come downstairs and ask me?
I was gonna say eggs, but
I-
it's like 9 p.m. or something
Yeah.
for you.
It's 10:40 p.m. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's. Oh well, it could be.
I mean, like, could be, but like, not like the,
You don't need
you
the
know,
phone?
it's like 9 a.m. for me, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's not
Oh,
like
I
a
put the
bad
sheet there 'cause the
distraction. It's
cat
not
was
like it's
staring at
an
me.
annoying sound. It's just one of those things
You're
where
sitting there like-
I hear it, my brain goes, "The fuck is that sound?"
Yeah, you hear it and like you instinctually like twitch to look at it.
Yeah.
I follow. I mean, I eat at like 12 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, she
I mean,
cuddles
honestly,
with me
he's a
sometimes.
trader.
Yeah.
He could, and he
I don't
comes
mind when she
home at
cuddles
like
with me.
insane hours. He could just be making dinner.
Very reasonable.
That was weird.
It's cool though. So, good neighbor.
Totally just popped in to ask me for my password, but didn't need my phone. I thought maybe Brittany was like off grabbing something, or so she was like, "Oh, can I watch something while you're down here and mommy's gone?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," but she just wanted to know my password.
No, sorry. I just read it on I wrote in chat.
Yeah, me. All right. So, anyways, chat. If you want to give me a six letter words that I could change my password to, give me some ideas. That'd be awesome. All right, cool. Let's back to the game. Donkey.
Coconut 7.
Oh, V sword. That's pretty amazing. Ano. Really?
Viggo is.
Really?
Viggo.
Vigo's
Varric's,
5. Varric's also
Uh,
5.
Varric, no. Wait, Vigo's 6. This 2G.
Stinky is great.
You're right.
Stinky is perfect. You don't have to say. But one of my nicknames for her is Stinky. Stop calling me Stinky. Well, you smell, kid. It's especially funny because my daughter is extremely girly. Like, Brittany and I have no idea. Like, Brittany always lays out outfits for her. Just like put it out on the couch for her when she gets dressed in the morning. And Rory will walk into the room, look at the outfit, and go, "No, I'm wearing a dress today." And then she'll go, and she'll like, if she doesn't have a dress in her bedroom, she'll go downstairs like to like where the laundry gets done, and like pick out a dress like out of like the laundry bin that hasn't been filled yet, just to be able to wear a dress that day. Like, there's no clean dresses. Fine, I'll wear a skirt. Like, what? It's the weirdest thing. But anyways, let's keep going. Where were we? Sorry, I just got surprised by a kid with the Rost. And she says that she does not pick up on the little smile that you get. So back to the story where I was. She tells you I was excited to see him because he didn't just recognize because he didn't just like necessarily recognize me. He knew my name as well. And then she, after like a moment or so, he like smiling. She says, "No, he probably got a report as to who it was that was going to be at that meeting. I bet he got a report and he knew how to. He just memorized it. But you yourself would actually know that your brother is the kind of dedicated person that he would memorize those names. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, anyways, you know, the hope. She always hope that when you meet a rising star, that you leave an impression and hopes that you can follow in their wake." And then she realizes that she just made such a aspirational comment, like to somebody who is of a lower rank, and it almost sounds like desperate, which is something that you don't want to do as a commanding officer. And then she, as like she says that, she then picks up her cup and says, "And I think I have work I've got to get back to," and puts down the drink she was about to take a sip from, and says, "Thank you for lunch. It was a delight. Perhaps we can enjoy a meal again sometime."
I'd like that. And he'll raise his glass to her and he'll say, "Aradel appreciates ambition." And he drinks it, puts it down, and he'll stand.
Yep. And you're gonna have to diplomacy that one because that could have been delivered poorly. So why don't you go ahead and diplomacy that one?
It wasn't meant to be delivered poorly.
Oh, that was delivered well.
More shadows in my window. Well, that's because the cat keeps staring at me. Yeah, I was like, "Stop staring at me, cat." So I put a sheet over it. She's thinking about killing me. Jesus. Oh, that was delivered well. It was delivered very well. What up, wifey?
I just want to give you some.
You know what?
And also tell you that your daughter ate a raspberry for the first time.
It was not the first time. We were raspberry picking last summer.
I'm sorry, for like the first time where it was like common.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
she bought them yesterday. And she ate one, and her face was like. And she goes,
Why is the crunchies in there?
and she's like picking it out of her teeth. It was just the best reaction. It was like when we gave her a lemon when she split one.
Yeah.
It was the best reaction.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let her know she's gonna probably go raspberry picking in when we're in Maine. 2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, she definitely had some because remember the golden ones, the yellow ones, the Maine specific ones. They're delicious.
We're leaving. Not
Sure, yeah. I can leave her in here until she gets annoyed. Yep. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you. Very much appreciated. All right. Sorry, everybody. The women always demanding attention.
No.
At least you heard me. I'm safe.
I was gonna say like I was like
That was
wait
risque.
for it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think she's upstairs yet. Anyways, what the hell were we talking about? I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. ADHD.
He delivered that line insanely well.
Deliver the line and I got to deliver it insanely well. So it actually is taken well. She'll actually pick the cup back up, take that last little sip to like finish off the cheers. Because you've already put yours down. She actually pick hers up, tap the bottom of her cup to the top of yours, and take the little sip as well, just to kind of like punctuate that the conversation. She grabs up her belongings and will leave as well as you do. At this point, I didn't know if you wanted to also have like a little bit of a chatter, like a side thing with Tethys, because obviously your character's going to be kind of like leaving his. This is effectively your goodbye. Hi, puppy. Yes, I love you. Go ahead, guys.
I broke the infinity cube.
Oh no!
Oops. Oh well. Sorry. Let's continue with the game. Oh,
Aw,
Hopper.
poppers.
Oh.
She whines. She wants to be on my lap, but doesn't want to jump on my lap. Then I go to pick her up, and she whines. It's like she's getting old, though. You know, she's 12 now, and she's not one of those crappy little small dogs that live forever. No offense, Jake.
Are you bad mouthing Percy?
Not in the least. I would never do that.
Percy's so
Good.
Percy's fantastic.
Percy is adorable.
He is the best cameos in all of Aurorum. Okay?
Excuse me.
I
He can hear you.
don't care. Didn't ask.
All right. You can say your goodbyes to him without him being there.
Oh, no.
So, Jake, how do you say your farewell to Tethys?
Well, without him being here, I guess before we go, I mean, Galen probably. I don't know. Galen you might have even been hanging out with him. This time, I don't know what you've been doing.
He probably would have just been getting his gear together, inspecting, basically he'd be doing all the stuff that he wouldn't have been able to do while they were out on the Barren Islands, like meditating, inspecting his gear, getting his gear from where we stored it. But as far as saying, should I leave? Or so, as far as saying goodbye, he would he'd do it in a very soldierly but very respectful way. He would do the parents salute, but then after they shake hands, he would probably honestly, because it was life to death situations, he would do the slap on the back and just, hey, there we go. Did you catch the first part of what I said?
I caught part of it.
Okay, so he would do the salute, the handshake, and then he would like do the slap on the back and just honest serving with you.
You too, Galen.
Sure, we'll
I
be
nearly,
seeing you again.
I nearly forgot your name there, Galen.
Everyone's kind of Tony.
Lucky
to
I
me.
have it wrote on my hand.
What's the parent name?
Milk? Is that your name? Milk?
What's the parent equivalent of Tony?
Oh
Is it
god,
Joey? Is that what it is, right? I thought you. Sorry, everyone's a Joey or a Tony or whatnot. You mean enough of them on the boat?
Stop doing that, because
Dude, listen, everyone on boat is named the worst name possible. They're all Tonys or Joeys.
it just ruined you for life.
Well, Tethys, I'm glad we had you in there with us.
Yeah? Camp Sam
I've
was.
spoken with the CW. Things will be changing for you. I hope for the better.
If I get to leave this place, anything is better. Maybe not Rast.
He looks at you with like very sympathetic eyes, and he's like, "I hope so."
Listen, if you need help with anything, just
Anything. Paperwork, anything.
especially with a boat, I'm the best salesman, probably. I don't know, in like 100 miles.
Not even close.
Well, I mean, I might be. I got like a plus 16 to the check.
Anyways, all right. So, you guys say your goodbyes to him and stuff like that, and he's going to fade away. With that being said, why don't we take a quick break so we can give Sel the boot, and we can come back and keep pushing on with our story. So, sound good?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.